And welcome to Benchmonster TV.
I'm Ashley Lynn Condre.
And I am the Benchmonster.
Thank you so much for joining us this evening. As always, we appreciate you spending your Thursday evening with us.
Yep.
We have a very special guest tonight. You look like you want
Good
to say
buddy,
something.
old friend, new friend, powerlifting friend, training partner, fishing buddy. My friend Bj Dirk is on the show.
Badass motherfucker.
One badass motherfucker. We're gonna talk about it.
Sure.
Let's not waste any time. Let's get to this little introduction here. We'll bring BJ on because we have a lot of questions and we need a lot of answers.
As usual, yeah, we got quite a bit of questions, so we'll go as quick as we can. But
okay, let me play this and watch this as I introduce BJ. I did this kind of wrote this down myself, so bear with me. All right. Please welcome my next guest. He was one of the original Kennelly Power Team members and one of the most hardcore and intense training partners I have ever had. He started with a 325 bench, and within 2 years of dedication to training, learning, and living the lifestyle, he achieved a 711 bench press at 242. He was with me through the peak of my benching career, and he had a huge part in helping me come up with my successful setup and feet placement. He went to big meets with big lifters and picked their brains. He got some really good advice on how to set up for the bench and specific feet placement, all of which I use to increase my bench big time. He is a badass and a great friend and training partner. Please welcome Bj Dirk. Where's he at? There he is, BJ.
Welcome,
guys?
sir.
Welcome to Benchmonster
happy
TV.
To have you here.
Sweet. Thanks for having me.
I've been wanting to get you on here a long time. You know, they keep asking questions periodically, about training partners, and you were one of the best, man. You know, some of
quite a bit.
The intensity, the insanity, the violence that you brought to training and knowledge, man. I mean, you had it all. And that's hard to find. A sick and sadistic crew that we had, it was fun.
Well, I appreciate that, bro, but I just have to tell you, I powerlifted prior to meeting you, but meeting you was the catalyst. It took me further in bench press and numbers that I never ever thought I'd ever even achieve in my life.
Now, when I was talking about your intro, I hope I didn't insult you. 711. Did you do more than that, bench wise, or?
No, I actually believe it was 710.
10. Okay.
But,
yeah,
710.
Okay.
That's the best in a competition, but I took 2 slaps at 770 or something that day.
Damn.
They weren't in vain, but I had a pretty intense warm-up session, and I think that day I opened with 650.
Okay, this was the Mendelson Classic 205, right?
No, I think we were in Tri-Cities. I think the 710 was an APA.
APA, okay. We've done so many meets, BJ. It's like a blur.
Oh, you ain't kidding me, man. You ain't kidding me. But it got to the point where, back then, now these guys are benching 900,000, 1,000 pounds at 242.
Oh, yeah.
Back then, 700 at 242 was
it was godly, yeah.
It was huge.
Yeah.
So I got comfortable at opening, 640, 660.
Right.
And I think at that particular meet, I opened with 650, went 710, and because I wanted to try to get closer to 800.
Right.
And I took 2 tries at 775 that day.
Okay.
Yep.
Just wanted to make sure.
Yep.
We got a lot of cool questions to ask you that we ask our guests, and it kind of tells us a little bit about yourself, and they're fun questions. I emailed them to you, as I do with all our guests, so you can kind of predict what we're going to ask you. But let's go through those, and because I have a couple of my own, and I might jot down a little bit more as Ashley's asking you, because I got my own questions that I want to ask, and of course we'll go to the chat box and engage with the Benchmonster TV family. I'm sure they got questions. I see a few already, so Ashley, go ahead and ask BJ some questions.
All right, we'll get started here. So, did you play any sports in high school? If so, which ones? And did you lift back then?
Oh, I lost BJ. There, you're back. You're back. Oh, you're gone again.
Hold on.
You're dark.
There.
What's going?
Am I there?
No, I see. You're blue.
Screen.
You're back now.
There, you're back.
Yeah, stay there.
Sorry. Somebody called. I had to decline the
Okay, that happens.
All right. No big deal.
Little hiccup.
Do you want me to reread the question?
I'm sorry, Ashley. Give me that question again, please.
Did you play any sports in high school? If so, which ones, and did you lift back then?
Yeah, I started lifting when I was about 14. The only real sport that I got into really was wrestling a little bit. And then later in high school, I got into track.
Okay.
And I had a pretty good coach I had two very odd events that you wouldn't think coincide, but I did long jump and shot put.
Oh, wow.
Oh, interesting. All right.
So I could jump like hell and throw a shot put like crazy too.
No
So,
There you
shit.
go.
I never knew
I
that,
didn't
BJ.
know that. Yeah.
Wow.
yeah, I jumped like 22 feet when I was 17 years old.
Damn, you got
Damn,
hops.
yeah. You got some good skills, man.
Yep. Yep.
Okay, so.
But-
oh, sorry. Keep going.
I wasn't a champion or anything like that, but those are the sports, you know,
Okay.
wrestling.
So
It
some
was fun.
athletic background there. How much did you
Yeah.
squat, bench, and deadlift in high school? Do you remember, or did you do those lifts?
Well, I did my first powerlifting meet was a push pull. I believe it was 95 at the Red Lion in Kennelly.
Wow.
Okay.
It was the Budweiser World Record Breakers by Gus Rethwish at Wabdal,
Wabdal.
and I did. I weighed in at 179, benched I think 303, and deadlifted close to 500.
Wow.
And I could squat right around 550 or maybe a little more at that point in time, but it wasn't until later I think it was a USAPL meet in Edmonds.
That was Bull
Washington.
Stewart's Federation maybe out there?
It may have been at the time, but me and old Todd Scott from Sleek Physique, we did that competition together, and I think I ended with like a 545 squat, and I fell with weight that day, and thank God for spotters because I came all the way down, and I rolled right back off my heels
Whoa.
complete. Like it was a goner. It was a total loss.
That's not a good feeling.
So they caught me and the weight.
God.
Thank God, right?
Was that a raw
Yeah.
squat back then, or did you have briefs or a suit?
I had a pretty mild suit. I mean, gear wasn't too crazy back then. You know, I had a blast shirt, which was basically a tight
That's all it was.
t-shirt at the time for bench pressing. So, but yeah, no, that was kind of the beginning of the luster for powerlifting.
After that meet, did you want to do another meet? And did you want to
like
train
those.
bit by the iron bug, so to speak?
Yeah, I mean, I kept on training. Powerlifting took a lot of, for me, it was hard for me to plan. I was very spontaneous about it, but when I'd get my mind set or hear about a competition, you know, I had to get my ducks in a row to be able to go and do them.
I understand.
And yeah, it was just one of those things, kind of like you always called me, the fly by night.
I did call you that. Fly by night fraud.
We'll talk about that.
Yeah, I'm sorry, man, but you know, a lot of people come and go, and they still do, man. In training, they show up, and you know, I just don't really pay attention to them till they've been around 6 months now. Because shit, man, they're here 2 weeks, gone. You know, it's just the way it is.
It is.
It's hard, man. This shit's not easy. It's not fun. It's torture, and I'm not a nice guy in the gym, so.
No, I always had good excuses when I would lift with you, and then I disappeared because I had to go to jail for 3 months.
I remember that. I remember.
Come back and bench 550 in 3 weeks.
I remember it like yesterday. How you came right out of that jail food, which is shit, and come out and yeah, you just had like a natural ability of strength and toughness, and you know that it's a rarity, you know. And I've lifted with a lot of people, and you're like one of a kind, dude. Really are. So
yeah, he brings you up when talking to people a
Oh,
lot
yeah.
and has a lot of positive.
Well, I appreciate it, and I got much love for you too.
Thank
brother.
you.
Oh,
Yep.
sweet guys.
You too, Ash.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you. Thanks for including me
leave you
there.
two out.
Right back at you,
Yep.
buddy.
You're not excluded.
Yeah.
All right, Ashley, what do you got next?
Okay, so the kind of answered. We'll skip the next question because he kind of answered
Okay.
it. It was just when and which powerlifting meet was your first. So we've already answered that. So how did you feel about it afterwards? Which we kind of answered that one already.
Yep.
Do you have anything you want to add to that? How you felt about that first meet after you did it? Anything you want to add, or should we skip it? Because you kind of already answered that.
Yeah, that's fine.
All right, moving on.
We'll move on.
And then you took a lot of my questions.
You took a lot of questions.
Did you start out equipped or raw?
I'm fucking happy. I talk a
That's
lot.
all right.
That's totally fine. So did you? So we know that you started out equipped in some mild equipment. It sounds like. Who got you into powerlifting?
Okay, so at high school, I didn't go to a regular high school. I had to go to an alternative high school because I didn't fit at the regular high school. So I was about 15 years old, and a teacher of mine we'd go over to the job corps and start lifting weights. And man, I could put 225 on, and I could do it 3 sets of 10 pretty easily, and I wanted to get a membership at Sleek Physique because a cousin of mine here in Moses already worked out there. His name was Darren Banco. Well, I went there, and there was a gentleman there named Tommy Bryce that was a world-class power lifter back in the early 90s. Well, I didn't know him, but when I seen him, I'd never seen a human being like that before. Like, he was like 5'8" and weighed fucking 340.
Wow.
He was a monster.
Good night. That's crazy.
And he was accredited, like in 93, he did like 903 squat, like an 8-something deadlift, and close to 600 bench press.
Jeez.
And he took a hiatus because he tore his bicep. But Tommy went to school and graduated with my mom. So once he found out who my mom was, he kind of took me under his wing, and I was trained by Tommy all the way up until my first competition. Tommy took me and coached me at my first competition there in Pasco or in Kennelly there. So yeah, Tommy, I got to train with him for quite some time, and then he ended up moving to a different gym, and I stuck around at Sleek Physique, and me and Todd, we became kind of training partners and trained for the next one that I did later on. But yeah, Tommy Bryce, man, he was the one that introduced me into, the structure of sets, high weight, low repetitions, and, always expressed to try to avoid injury.
Is Tommy Bryce still around up there? I know that's kind of a weird question to ask, but
he's still around, and he's 62 years old and still in fucking phenomenal condition.
For him.
Very cool. That's
awesome. He's just got the bull and ball shoulders and massive chest. He's just a yoked up dude. Yep. Pretty impressive.
Nice.
A testament to genetics, that's for sure. Him and all of his brothers are all in great condition. Yep.
All right.
But
excellent.
Go ahead, fire.
Fire away. Let's see here. I just don't want to cut you off.
What are
your best equipped lifts?
Well, my best bench is 710 in the competition.
Right.
And then we did a Pride powerlifting competition in Spokane. You were there, Ryan. I think my best deadlift's like about 650 at 220. It was my birthday, but I think I did 650 at 220.
Okay. Push-pull meet.
Strong.
Yep. Remember old Jared Bachmeyer?
Yeah, we still see him here and there.
Yeah, I think that was Don's friend, right?
That was at that meet. He dropped 440 at arm's length across his freaking stomach and never went to the hospital.
Jesus, man.
I thought, he sat up and he was white as a sheet, man. I was like, dude.
Wow, I didn't know that.
He lived and continued to powerlift.
When I saw him recently, like a year ago, he was thick as a house too. He's still in the game. So
yeah, he's a big motherfucker, man.
He is. Which of
this is an easy one.
Stupid question. We already know the answer to this, but which of the 3 lifts, squat, bench, or deadlift, are your favorite?
I thought bench press was everyone's favorite.
It is everyone's favorite.
No.
Nobody cares about deadlift or squat.
That's not true. I know that we've got people watching right now that disagree with
I know.
But
Yeah, it was
I
a
figured
jump.
it was going to be bench. Yes. What are some of your favorite accessories for the bench press? Your accessory or
Oh,
assistance movements?
I like skull
Okay.
crushers. I like floor
Yep.
presses. Oh, I like, I like it all really. I never I just I when we're training with Ryan, I say, "What do you want to do?" And he's like, "Well, I want to," and he tells me some exercise and he says, "Everybody hates that one." I go, "Well, let's fucking
That's
do
how we
that
still
one
do it,
then."
BJ.
That,
Yeah.
that's how I am. I'm like, "Well, let's do them then." Yeah, I don't back down. They're all good for me. I just
Yep.
attack.
I like that
Yep.
attitude.
Yep.
What was one of your favorite, most memorable powerlifting meets?
Oh, probably Mendelssohn's.
Yeah.
That was a big crowd and a lot happened. Ryan spewing blood all over the
I did.
place, and so here's one that was kind of one that kind of got into my head because I'd been lifting for a while, and I had already been accredited. I think for I think I did a 644, a 680, 700,
Yep.
and a 710, and I was going to Mendelssohn's meet, and there was another guy that was in my class. He had beat me at nationals or no, a regional type competition in Portland. His name's Greg
Greg
Stevens or
Stevens. Yep.
Steffen, and he's a fucking strong motherfucker too. Well, he got invited to Mendelssohn's meet, and I think he was yet to hit a 700, but he was up there in the mid to high sixes. Yeah. Well, he went out there, and I think he opened up with 650, and he got it. And they called 700, and me and Ryan are back there behind the stage, and all of a sudden all of a sudden it sounded like someone tore a fucking denim bench strap.
Well, I thought it sounded to me like a broomstick breaking.
It was a weird sound.
I couldn't even.
Donna Mendelsohn, she's like, oh, nice try, and all of a sudden her tune changed. She's like, oh, we need the paramedics up here immediately. Oh, yeah. And I look at Ryan, and he looks at me, and they get him up and they bring him back, and he's white as a sheet, and he's holding his arm, and I'm like, what happened, Greg? He goes, I fucking broke my arm. And I'm getting my shirt adjusted to go out next with load the bar for 733 Bj Dirk. I'm like, oh fuck. I'm like, we're not exactly, we're not built like Ryan Kennelly and Scott Mendelsohn. Right. We're little guys still. So I just, but I went out there and gave it a shot. It wasn't in vain, but I didn't get the 733. But that was an exciting meet. Anytime you get to go hang out with Scott and a big venue like that, it was the Iron Man, I believe, is what he was hosting. Yep. So it was just kick ass. It was always fun going there.
We saw Mendelssohn recently, and I was texting you, and I told you, I go, Mendelssohn, Bj Dirk says hi. He goes, who? Bj Dirk. Oh, crazy BJ.
Yeah, he did.
And I couldn't get a word in. He goes, I can't believe he's not dead by now.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah, fucker.
He totally did.
That's all right.
Yeah, he knows who you are.
All right. Oh, I know. Yeah, we text back and forth.
Oh yeah.
Oh, do you? That's cool.
Yeah, I might have to pester him for one of his new shirts. We'll see.
There you go. Oh, he'd love that.
I'm gonna shop around what's out there, but there's only one way to test them, and that's to you got to fucking buy one and try it out.
Mm-hmm. I hear you.
So we'll see.
All right, you're on page 2.
Mm-hmm. All right, so now, on the other hand, what was one of your least favorite powerlifting meets?
Oh, man. I think my least favorite powerlifting meet ever was the last one we did at Pac.
Oh, yeah.
Really?
Yeah. I'm not used to being a fucking bombarian. And I bombed and hurt myself, and just nothing went the way that I wanted it to go. And I tried to adhere because I had taken, some years off. But, 2 years before that, I did a little competition over in Wenatchee. at 220, and I benched 555, and they were sticklers about everything, so I had to do 555 3 times before I
Right.
got it.
Oh.
So, you know, at least I got on the board. But, you know, I've always kind of been, you know, I trained myself to just stay cool and focus on getting set up, and you know, and I felt like I went through the motions on everything, but it was a no-go.
That meet where you bombed, can we say that maybe we left the best lifts in the gym? Or, I mean, at the meet, did it feel good? Did it feel like everything was on point? Was it just like, you know, sometimes we do, if I remember correctly, because I posted some of the videos, you were kicking ass in training. I mean, the numbers were there. It's just sometimes on the platform, it's not there that day, or nerves or central nervous system's a little fatigued. You know.
It could have been all
Yeah,
them factors, lots of things, you know. But you know, the thing is also is that I've been, you know, trying to get by on hand-me-down bullshit, and I probably need to, you know, put out some money and buy a new shirt that hasn't been fucking used to death.
What shirt did you wear?
I had one of Joel's Phenoms.
Oh, okay.
And I'm sure he trained the shit
I'm sure he
out
did.
of it. No disrespect or anything toward Joel. Hell of a lifter too, but you know, it was an older Phenom too, so I was hoping that it was gonna, you know, perform like they used to.
Yeah,
it was a good board shirt up into about a half board.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's full range. It was just, I don't know.
Well, I think these new band shirts that are out will, I think you'll be very surprised and very excited when you put one of these on and lift in them, because they kind of carry the weight all the way through to the top, like the old Phenom did for me. And there's a little learning curve, but I know you can figure it out quickly, and I think you'll be happy.
Yeah, I can't wait to try one.
Looking forward to that.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Mr. Nathan Brandenhorst was in the gym tonight, and he said you might be coming down in January and lifting with us. Is that any truth to that story?
Yeah, we chatted for a couple sentences on Instagram the other night. It just really depends on Kiera's schedule right now.
I understand.
You know, I got 2 swamp rats at home that I gotta walk take. You know,
right?
Like my one friend, I'm babysitting. He's like, well, if they're your kids, you're not babysitting. I'm like, well,
it's called parenting, right?
Yeah, that's okay. I take it with a grain of salt.
Right.
I love my kids.
Oh yeah, of course.
Yep. And they grow up so fast, man. Yep. Every time I see a picture, you know, it's just like, wow, like weeds. Yeah.
Well, I'll just have to tell you that I've eaten crow more than one time. Remember when I was telling you I was gonna tell him, oh, Salem, go pick a scab off.
Yes.
Ryan's leg. The fucker will come right up and pick a fucking scab off you when you're watching TV or something.
I got scabs on my legs.
Right off my shin. I looked at Kiera. I'm like, oh, I just got what I asked for.
Does he pick them nicely, or does he rip them off?
No, he'll fucking hook that fucker.
Oh, nice.
Okay. I better not have.
He's being.
Okay. Well, I've been warned. You told me he's going to come over and do that, so I'll be ready.
Well, I didn't all I did was speak it into the earth and the world, and he does it. No one's taught him to be a fucking mean guy like that. He just exudes it.
Genetics.
Maybe so.
All right, Ashley, what do you got next?
Okay, yeah, we better. What are some of the most impressive or memorable feats of strength that you have witnessed for squat, bench, or deadlift? Whether it be training or a meet, or bench or squat or deadlift.
There's been a lot of them.
I know,
when you hang out with Kennelly, and him alone speaks for itself, because I've been his handoff guy at the big show a few times. But we went to Bench Bash for Cash in Chicago, and there was a Russian lifter named Alexander Kucher.
Kucher, yeah.
And that kid deadlifted like 755 and squatted like 830 and benched 555 at 165 body weight.
Good Lord.
And when he deadlifted the 755, he did it sumo, But as soon as he loaded up and went for it, that bar traveled at this speed the whole fucking way up. Like it was just a fucking positive grind the whole fucking way. I just was like, holy shit. But that kid was pretty impressive. I think that was a world record total
at the
in his
time.
weight class.
That's a name I haven't heard in a long time till you brought it up, man. And it's kind of cool because I remember him, and he was a freak of nature, man, for a 165er, dude.
Dude, he was a
fucking real
dude,
deal.
man.
I know that.
He was fucking trained, that's
yes,
for
sir.
sure. Especially at a 3 lift. And then watching crazy people lift there, we got to watch Gary Frank lift back in the day there. He was just a powerhouse all the way around, you know, bench, deadlift, squat. We got to train with Brett Micasell.
Yep.
With a fucking monster squatter, and he was actually my daughter's math teacher over in Spokane.
Small world.
It is such a small world. Yep. It's nuts.
Yeah. Kaylee asked me, "Do you know Brett Micasell?" I said, "Yeah." He says he knows you.
Yeah, I saw Brent, 3 years ago at Spokane?
Yeah, it was like 2018 or something.
Yeah, we went up to watch Ray Williams squat, and saw Brent come out of the hotel motel, and he looked really good. He looked healthy, you know. He's lost a little bit of weight.
Yeah, such a
nicest
guy,
man, yeah, very true.
Very nice, yep.
Very nice.
But I don't know who else have I seen that I thought was impressive. Trying to think of maybe a big deadlift. I always was impressed with the deadlifts when they were monstrous, but yeah, nonetheless, I'm getting fucking awesome lifters block in my head right now.
There's been so many. I mean,
there's a lot. It's hard to narrow down. I mean, it's hard to narrow down.
Yeah.
It's totally fine. We can move on to the next question here. What injuries, if any, have you had to deal with throughout your career, and how did you recover?
Well, at that last meet that I bombed at, I must have tore my mildly, which is the only one I've ever had.
Oh wow, really?
I avoided it. Yeah, I had some. I got my whole chest piece here is tattooed, but on the side I had like the yellow and red, the blood draining, but it wasn't a great deal of it. But you know, with the adrenaline and everything kicking, I really didn't notice any pain till we took my shirt off. And when I lifted my arm up like that, I looked at Ryan and I'm like, dude, and his eyes got big.
Yeah.
His eyes got big and he's like, what? And I'm like, dude, I got something going on there. And it hankered me for quite a while. Right. You know, I never went, I just, you know, I just massaged it myself, iced it myself. But in the past 2 years, it's definitely reminded me it's there once in a while. But it's been a little while since it's bit me. But you know, there's just, you know, we'll find out, because I'm gonna try to get back into the swing of things here at some point in time.
I will be very excited to. I got to have a little neck surgery done soon, so I'm sidelined at the moment. But you know, by the time I get that done and healed up, and door is always open where we bench at, man. You know.
Oh, I appreciate that. I do. Yep. I look forward to it, my man.
What are some of your best training lifts? Squat, bench, or deadlift? It can be max singles, but it doesn't have to be. It could be like a set of multiple reps with a really heavy weight. It could be board presses. Just some of your best lifts that you're most proud of, training-wise. If you can think
well, I mean, you videoed one of my 765 from one board. Moved pretty good.
Definitely.
A couple weeks before that, I was slamming 675 for doubles.
I remember that.
Off board, and they were traveling pretty good there. And you know, another lift that it wasn't shirted, but me and Ryan, we're at what is it, Icon Fitness now, beneath the bar prior.
It's called
Impact
now. We change our name every 3 months.
Well, Icon. I guess there was another gym named Icon, so there was
at that building.
Gotcha.
At that building, we were doing some work and we were changing it up. What's that kind of lightly cambered, the Duffalo bar?
Yes.
Duffalo bar. And we were working up and I did like 475 with the Duffalo bar. And it was, pinkies on the ring or something like that. And I sat up and Ryan looks at me and he's like, dude, 475 on the Duffalo bar. That's like 500 raw, dude. And that was raw.
It was, yeah.
It had been a while since I hit anything raw like that, but I've always told people if you're even though if you're training in a shirt and your range of training isn't just limited to, the middle of your chest and lockout and you're hitting all the levels, I feel like there is a little bit of a carryover for raw there.
There is.
Yeah.
So I thought that was pretty impressive in my own mind.
Yeah.
Even 500 raw bench is like everywhere for everybody now.
Like, how funny how times have
it is crazy.
Changes. There's so many strong people out there now. It's crazy how human beings are getting stronger now. It's kind of awesome to see.
It is. It's insane.
Mr. Brandhorst is a pretty strong motherfucker.
Absolutely.
He's got some raw power.
He's got some raw power.
Insane. Oh yeah. He's fucking incredible.
Time under tension too. He doesn't do anything fast. Fucking goes down slower than it goes up.
Very, very strong, dude. That's for sure. Those are very impressive training lifts. That was good. Let's see here. What does a week of training look like for you?
When we were
when
we were in gear,
when you were competing, like what was your training split? What did that look like?
Oh, well, I would do Tuesdays. I would do speed bench by myself, and I kind of would stick to, with the band tension. It's kind of it'll just zap you. So sometimes I'd go down to like 35% of whatever my 1 rep maximum was, and sometimes I would just stick to one bar spacing, whether it be really close or medium or wide. And, I do 10 sets, 1 minute intervals, triples as fast as I could, a lot of that. And if I had an option for a bar, I'd train that. Mondays, we'll back up because bench is my favorite. So I had to go there. But Mondays, I generally hit back, and it would be a lot of back exercises, bent over rows, heavy bent over rows, hammer curls, anything that mimics a reverse bench press movement.
I got you.
You know what I mean? That's kind of theory. Usually I would take Wednesdays off, probably do some sort of leg deal on Thursday. And that would be kind of all over the place because legs are it's hard. It's just daunting for me. And it takes a lot of fucking time to break down hamstrings, quads, glutes, calves. Like you're in there for fucking 2.5 hours.
It does.
You know what I mean? So,
yeah.
So I do that and, take a day off before coming and hanging out on Saturday. And then the recipe would be whatever Ryan wants to do. That's how I just, it's a free for all when I go. I just am like at the mercy of Ryan. Right. I just say, what are we doing today? And he says, we're doing this. And I go, okay, let's do it.
That's how it works.
That's how it goes.
Seems like yesterday we were locking that sleek physique door at 3:00 and cranking up the music and all the insanity things we did in there. Boy, if that gym could talk.
I've heard stories.
The funny thing is when we would be in there, we'd have our little group, and somebody would walk in, and we'd be like, "Cop,
cop." That's true.
Cop.
Hey,
because it was a public gym, right?
Yeah.
Although, didn't you guys?
We weren't quiet.
But on Saturday, we would shut it. It would close at 3, and we had the key, so we'd lock it and get wild in there, dude.
What kind of gym closes at 3? Did it do that specifically for you?
I don't know. Sleek Physique on Saturday closed at 3 back in the day. Remember?
Like a horrible.
In Moses Lake at that time of a population of 14,000 people.
True.
Yeah, small town.
Very.
I miss that shit though.
Yeah.
I got pretty fucking strong at that gym, man.
Dude, I got very strong.
Fucking jailhouse equipment, man.
Nothing was gold plated, man. We made do with what we had, and we fucking did big things, dude.
Nice.
Indeed, we did.
Do you or did you ever use pre-workout? If so, which one is or was your favorite?
I cannot lift with the jitters.
Really?
It's counterproductive for me. I cannot do it. It doesn't work.
Understand?
Okay.
Yeah, I don't use pre-workout myself. I like the ammonia inhalant, but I'm not a pre-workout guy.
I like that. There's that'll give you a little alert sense. You wake your ass up. But the guys that want to drink 3 red lines in a fucking Red Bull, I would challenge them to try to lift without one. And I bet you your numbers are better.
We had pre-workout. It was called Chops.
Get you amped up for a lift. Overhead butt, yeah. That's funny.
What type of music?
I think there's something in the sorry.
I know,
cool. Sorry, I'll stay focused on the questions. Okay. What type of music do you listen to when you train?
I used to love to listen to Cannibal Corpse and fucking Deicide and Super Joint Ritual, Down, Pantera, Corrosion of Conformity, anything riffy, anything heavy. Ryan always liked 6 Feet Under.
Grinder.
Yeah.
Which I didn't mind them because their singer was the original Cannibal Corpse singer.
I never knew that.
I didn't know that.
Wow.
Yeah. Yep.
There you go.
Yeah.
That's cool.
First 2 albums is him on for Cannibal Corpse.
Wow.
Huh.
What is the best advice lifting wise that anyone has ever given you, and who is that person?
Boy, that's a I think I didn't think about that one very much, but I've gotten a lot of advice from Ryan over the years. So, and I usually would adhere to what he would suggest, or, especially back in the day when I was fucking drinking and fighting every weekend, and then, try to do something. He'd be like, "Man, you gotta quit that shit, or you need to do half as much of that shit."
I remember that.
Yeah, he'd always tell me, he's like, "God, how do you do that?"
Yeah, I did.
Like,
but no, I
in
asking me that question, I got a lot of advice from you too, and especially, I talked about it in the bio of the show tonight, the feet placement and how, and I think we'll get into that. There's a question right here. We'll get to that in the chat box about because you changed your feet placement from. We'll talk about it at that point, but I want to get into that because it changed my lifting for the better, and I want to go over that story and talk about that, but we'll go through that. But any other lifting advice? Makes me think of like Halbert or Lamarck. They gave you some good advice.
Well, Halbert and Lamarck, they talked about some of their training within what they do, and I mean, remember Lamarck had some sitting up machine
bench press
that swung the weight into him, as opposed to, we kind of tried to mimic and tried to think about some of that kind of shit, but it was just about trying to train you into a straight line, and Halbert, I think we were talking to him at the bar, so I don't know how much I remember of him specifically talking, but yeah, it was cool being everybody there. But I guess we'll back up to Tommy Bryce, because when I was a kid, I loved to fucking arm wrestle, and I was pretty good at it. But when I started powerlifting and getting serious in it, Tommy Bryce told me, he said, "Don't arm wrestle." He's like, you will fuck up your arm. You can stop yourself from powerlifting forever if something goes wrong know. And I've only arm wrestled, and we're talking me being 16, 17 years old. I've only arm wrestled fucking less than that many people since then. You know, once in a while you get fueled and get a little booze in you or something. So, you know, somebody always, you know, somebody hears about who you are.
They want to test you.
You know, fucking on your ass about wanting to fucking arm wrestle. And there's been a couple of them that were completely no contest. Like, I had this one guy on the construction job. He was working with me and another friend of mine, Eric Williams, who's been my friend forever. And this guy goes, "Oh, we should arm wrestle." And I just looked at Eric, and Eric looked at me. He didn't know what to say. But yeah, boom. But there has also been a couple other guys that they wanted it.
Really?
And fucking test my ass, man. Fuck. Oh.
Yeah, that's one way to really irritate your shoulder, your rotator, and all those ligaments that run into
my elbow, man. That was probably the last match, man. My fucking elbow ached for 2 fucking weeks after that.
If it's not something you do every day, it can kind of be dangerous. Yeah. You know, let the alcohol talk too.
Yeah. you kind of got to train.
You do.
That type of thing. Yep.
Okay. What powerlifting gear do you use, or did you use?
I was one of Ken Anderson's guys for a while. I was sponsored by Titan. I've always gravitated toward Titan. And when Inzer was fucking around with Ryan, man, we were trying to get Ryan to come over back then.
I came over. I had a Titan shirt, and you remember I blacked it out and took it to the bench bash for cash.
Yeah, no, you dabbled around in them a little bit, but yeah, man, they were gunning for old Ryan. But yeah, I've always liked Titan gear. I've talked to Jimmy Kolb a little bit about bench shirts and you know what he likes, and you know I was thinking about maybe getting a single ply, whatnot. You know,
and
why not?
You were really good at knowing how to adjust those Titan shirts, twisting the sleeves and doing all the technique things that apply to those shirts. I was a Phenom expert. So, but it was good having you on board because a lot of people did lift in Titan gear, and you got a lot of people in Titan gear, I think.
Yeah. Well, I remember the first 700 I did was in Chehalis, Washington, and at that point, the state record in that federation was done by a man named Blaine Stussy. Yep, and it was 640, and I opened with 640, and then got 640. And went up to, I actually opened at that meet with 660.
Whoa.
So I got the record right off the bat. And he was the head judge, and I got three white lights on that. That was a Titan F6.
Oh, nice.
Titan F6 shirt.
Single ply, 2 ply?
It was a double.
Okay.
And then I went for 700, and it just yo-yoed. It came down and came up, and then it just faded back down. And I was like, oh, because it was a PR. It was like a PR or something at 242. It was 660, and it was the state record. So I was just going to be smart powerlifting, save it for another day. I was like, oh, they're like, well, what's your next number? I was like, oh, I think I'm done. And Levi and, Leon and all those Rick Solan, they fucking went crazy. They're like, no. They're like, you got to try that again. That was close, And I'm like, I think so. And they're like, yeah, try it again. Fuck. I said, okay, load the bar 700 for Bj Dirk.
Smoked it.
And I took the bar, brought it down, got the press command. It just came straight up. Boom, locked it out, got the rack command. First 700 on the board that I ever got, man. That was awesome. Tried 720 because it was a state record first shot, so I got 4 attempts. Tried 720, and it kind of did what the 700 did, just kind of came up and kind of yo-yoed back down. But that was all in the double F6 Titan
242
shirt.
body weight too.
Yeah, 242. And after I was done, Blaine Stussy came and talked to me and he's like, dude, that was one of the best 700-pound bench presses I've ever seen from a 242-pound dude. I said, but yeah, he was pretty cool and gracious about it. But yeah, old Kennelly got a phone call.
I did.
Because he couldn't make it, and all of a sudden they're like, "Dirk, hit some." He's like, "What the fuck?
Yeah.
This guy just did."
I remember that call, dude. I was proud, man. That was fucking awesome. That was huge at 242 back in 2004 or whatever it was.
That's crazy.
Yeah, that's what I tell people. It's like everyone does, 950
Yeah.
is not unheard of now. But I remember Powerlifting USA. They come out with the fucking, the stats, and I remember there was my name in the top 10 of the world, 242, 710 bench. I thought that was pretty fucking
that is
cool.
Fucking cool.
Yeah, that's really cool.
Never a world, never a singled out world record holder like my boy Ryan and some of our friends. But hey, man, it was fun to do it, and it was fun to fucking meet all the people that I got to meet and fucking hang out, and people I like and people I dislike or whatever.
Hey, I want to ask,
a little bit of both, huh?
at Bench America, this is kind of off topic thing here, but I remember you were rapping with Jason Jackson, and you had a marijuana conversation that got pretty heated. Remember that?
I don't know if I think that was at Worlds in Reno.
Okay, somewhere. I just remember, and because you told me about it, because I wasn't in the bar, but you told me there was a little.
I went up to I was hanging out with Steve Wong.
Oh, okay.
And a bunch of other guys, and we ended up in their room, and that's when Jason Jackson was a police officer, and I was kind of an advocate for the legalization of weed, and he was 100% against it. Like he fucking started getting mouthy.
I remember you told me,
like getting aggressive, and like they had to fucking break us up because we're about to scrap in the fucking room. I mean, him and I are friends, and we've talked about that and laughed now, but we were gonna fucking fight.
Wow.
He probably would have whipped my ass, but fuck, I
don't know, dude.
I've had that.
Give him a run for his
hey,
money.
man, I seen you at a party in a barn, a 40 by 40 barn, and there was 3 of us and 40 of the other people, and we're in a barn where they got lawnmower blades hanging on the wall, pipes, axes, and
sledgehammer.
Yeah, dude, and you took a pipe or something to the head that night, and we had to go put pepper in it and all that good stuff.
Yeah, that was a fun time.
I think Jason Jackson would have had his hands full. You got a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu background too. We trained that.
Well, yeah, I think you realized that.
Yeah.
Remember that guy that got Sunday punched and he ended up in an arm bar in a flash.
Yes, sir. Okay, that was off topic. Back to questions.
It's fun talking.
It's fun.
It, though.
Yeah, I mean, trail off and talk about whatever you guys want. What is
that? Probably won't be the last time that happens.
No, probably not.
What is something about you that would surprise everyone?
My favorite color's pink. No, I'm kidding. I really don't know. I'm kind of a lot of people don't know it. I'm an artist.
You are.
Very cool.
My art is in my knife making that I do. See my custom knife making sign. So it took me a while. I was always good at drawing and shit like that. But it would take a lot of time for me to complete a portrait or a picture. I could take a picture and draw it to a different scale and be completely detailed, but that really wasn't my niche, and it took me till I was about 28 years old to figure out that knife making was the artistic expression. I guess that's my niche. Right. So luckily I'm not a starving artist. I sell every knife that I'm able to complete, and I don't have a bucket full of knives under my bench that nobody wants.
I've seen some of your work, dude, and you're fucking talented.
Freaking awesome.
And we should talk about that and out here the hobbies in the next couple questions down here.
Tell us more about that.
Yeah, tell us more about your knife making business and how people can reach you if they want a custom knife. Because I've seen your work, man, and it's very impressive, and how you incorporate what somebody wants in a knife and how you turn it into just this work of art. It's crazy.
So custom. Yeah. Very cool. Yeah, we can talk more about that on the things that you do outside of powerlifting, definitely. You have something else you want to say?
No.
Okay. If you had an opportunity to go back and do it all over again, would you change anything? If so, what would it be?
I wouldn't take any time off.
Perfect.
I wouldn't have taken a 13-year hiatus.
Can you imagine where you'd be? I know it's easy to say it now, but if you stuck with it and just kept going, BJ, I mean, there's no question in my mind, 900,000, 220, 240, what you could have done.
Oh yeah, no, absolutely. But you know, that's okay. But to answer that question, that's probably what
Excellent.
it would be, is just, you know, be a little more diligent and stick with it. And
yeah.
whatnot. But, you know, life
it does
happens.
happen, man.
Totally.
Everybody can make excuses and reasons, but you know, I probably should have just kept trying to stay with the program to one degree or another.
But it was hard, you know. Our gym shut down in Moses Lake. We went to another facility. Then it for some reason we got had to move out of there, and we moved around for a while, and it was hard to find a gym.
And then I got married.
Yeah, that's all right. You had carpal tunnel surgery at one point. I mean, these happen in life, you know.
Yep. No, it's all right though. I'll be back.
Right.
I've got a lot of natural ability.
Yeah, you do. Yeah, you do. Outside of powerlifting, what are some of your hobbies and things you like to do?
Well, since we already said knife making, I'll kind of leave that to the last. But I like to do gold mining. I like to go up to the river up by Blewett Pass. There's several creeks up there, and you join a mining association, and you get rights to camp on their private property, and you go up there with some fucking stakes and
sluice and all that.
Mine. Yeah, just placer mining. But I have found some decent gold up there.
Nuggets or
what? It's not. I've found flakes as big as my pinky.
Nice.
You know, flakes. Nothing. You know, you can pick that up with your fingers, and that's good gold according to all the old timers.
Yeah.
You know, but you know, that's a lot of fun for me. I don't mind doing some hikes. I like to go morel hunting for mushrooms.
I remember you telling me that. Yep.
That gets you out in the wilderness, out in the hills, and you know, check shit out and snoop around for some mushrooms.
You ever find any Cubinzies or anything?
No Cubinzies, but you get into the wetter areas and you find the fucking fly agaric or the Amanita muscaria, which is the Mario mushroom.
Oh.
In the book, they're listed as not edible and deadly. There's a way that is supposed to be able to prepare them, but they're not safe. But I don't fuck with them.
And as far as your knife making business, we should promote that in a way on the show in case people want a custom knife. I mean, you're really good at your work, and
is amazing.
If you want to mention a phone number or an email address or website,
any way people can get it.
You know, my email is dirkknives@gmail.com, dirkknives@gmail.com. My phone number is 509-989-5060. But I'll just tell you, we moved into a new house, and it took me a few months to get my shop in order, and I'm behind on orders right now.
I wouldn't doubt it.
If you're serious about wanting something, it's going to be like 6 or 8 months.
Oh wow!
Didn't Mendelsohn want a knife?
We were talking about.
I don't mean to pry into your life, but
no, well, he ain't gonna want a hunting knife. He's gonna want something to stab somebody.
I can see
with.
that.
Right.
Something with a brass knuckle on it, like a
But yeah, I've been pretty busy between just trying to keep the lights on because, you know, knife making's cool and I could probably do it to keep the lights on per se. But it's stressful when I rely
Yeah.
on it that way because
Totally.
I'm human. I fuck
It's a
shit
hobby.
up. Not everything goes the way I
understand.
want it to. So I still have to work a real fucking
Understandable.
job and make a paycheck.
Right.
That's life,
Some
man.
consistent money coming
Okay.
up. Totally. Where do you see yourself in 10 years?
Probably about right where I am with a little more gray hair.
That happened.
You
Maybe I'll have an 800-pound bench at 242 under my
say
belt.
Oh,
you plan to
dude,
maybe come
as
back?
an opener, fuck. I mean, you'd be
And those
surprised,
band
BJ.
shirts,
Well,
man.
yeah,
I bet you'll
Oh,
figure
well-
it out just like you figured out the other one and be able to get every ounce out of that thing. And
Oh, yeah.
I bet you'd rock that shit.
Well,
So,
that's what I always tell people. You know, I know there's haters out there about gear, but I used to piss fucking people off at the competitions because I was a fucking sleeper, man. I didn't look like the guy that can fucking put up 700 pounds. And I'd be competing against a guy that did.
Jacked up, yoked up guy, and
I became a pretty good shirt technician, but there's still training involved.
Yep.
It's training, and there is some strength involved there. But even with a band shirt, I'm gonna have to train in it. I'm gonna have to, get myself back up to that level and figure that motherfucker out.
get that central nervous system, acclimated to handling the weight again. But I don't foresee that being a problem with you. I've seen, like you said, you hop out of the clink and the Crossbar Hotel and come back and do 550 in 3 weeks. I still stunned. You came out, you haven't trained in months, and you just fucking lay down your 550 here. It's crazy.
I won't name any names, Vern, but he used to get pretty pissed off about that.
Mr.
Few of our guys,
Yeah, but I missed it.
few guys on our team.
Yep.
A few guys on our team used to get fucking heated. They'd be like, "How could he go to jail for fucking 3 months and trains for 3 weeks and
It pissed a lot of people off.
puts up
Yeah.
550?"
I can see that.
We chuckle just like we are right now.
When you first started out, what lifters did you look up to? Who were some of your idols?
Well, Anthony Clark, obviously, because he was the man back then. And he had a very unique bench press, being a reverse bench presser, reverse grip. Ed Cohen. Ed Cohen was big back then. There was a couple guys around. Obviously my trainer at the time was a world class lifter. Tommy, I coveted everything that he had to say. I also liked strongman back then quite a bit too, and you had what the hell was his name now? I'm gonna go blank on you guys.
Magnus for Magnuson.
Well, Magnus was in the bunch, but he was a little later. But yeah, a few of the strongman guys, they were pretty interesting to watch. But top of the powerlifting, as far as that, I'd say Cohen and Anthony Clark back when I was younger and into it. They were the most notable.
Okay.
Can we move to my questions now?
Well, you crossed off my last question, so I guess.
Oh, I'm sorry.
What's wrong with that question?
I don't know. I didn't mean to cross it out. I was just making sure the pen worked over there. Read it.
Whatever. I don't know what that was about. So this is the last question that I have. What advice can you offer new lifters who are just starting out?
Do what you like. If it's raw, bench raw, lift raw. If it's geared, lift gear. If it's both, do it. But don't listen to fucking what other people have to say.
Right.
Because everybody likes to have something to fucking say.
That's true.
So,
Totally true.
do what you want to fucking do. Because that's what I've always, I've always just enjoyed doing both or whatever. I just do what I want to do. I don't listen. I don't listen to what everybody has to say. And these days, as far as geared lifting goes, God, there's more haters than I could ever fucking remember ever in my life.
Yeah, and the internet
Crazy?
doesn't help because now, we didn't have much internet back in our day. But now everybody's an internet warrior behind their computer screens at home and stuff. And it's not, I don't think the internet's done too good for the sport of powerlifting. It's just, a lot of haters out there, but if you can weed through it and get the, the positive athletes that are out there, that's an important thing. But it is what it is, man. It's life.
Yeah. Do what you want to do. Don't, who gives a fuck what anybody else has to say?
Word.
That's good advice. Yeah.
Yeah.
Excellent.
That's what I think.
Okay, you're out of questions, aren't you?
That was the last. That was the last one that I had.
Okay, so interesting
few
topic.
over here.
You broke my Wabdal, I think it was junior 242 record, right?
No, it was men's open.
What was my record?
580.
580. So yeah, 583. I did that in May of 1998. When did you break that?
Yeah,
it stood for a while.
I believe it was 2005.
So down the road, man. I remember you called me that day and told me you took my record or something. And it was a great lift. It was on the show.
Mendelssohn or something? I took your record, bro.
Well, I was pretty proud of it because Ryan held that record for fucking ever.
Yeah.
And I went to Alki Beach and I went to Rainier Boulevard to fucking Bull Stewart's gym. And I'm not shitting you. I fucking started off with a sweatsuit the day before. Started off with a fucking sweatsuit on the fucking treadmill. And it took me about 2 hours, but I was out in the fucking parking lot in the middle of fucking summer with the fucking windows up in Rick Solan's truck, the fucking windows up and the heater on.
Make weight.
I dropped like 12 pounds in 2 hours, made 242.5 pounds.
Damn.
And I fucking I think I put it back on by the next day.
Oh yeah.
It's usually how that goes.
That was a cool thing to see that record broke and be broke by you, which is more impressive because you worked your ass off in the gym and you totally deserved it. So, hell yeah.
So the order in that meet, I wanted to say that I opened with somewhere because it was kilos. It was somewhere right around 545, and I was using a single ply Rage X.
Okay.
And I had a Phenom in my bag that I'd never even tried yet.
Oh, shit.
So my first lift with the fucking Phenom, or with the Rage X, I brought 545 down, and as soon as it fucking touched my chest, it went, whoa.
Oh, really?
And it blew up.
Jeez.
Oops.
And it just fucking exploded.
Uh-oh. That's not what you want.
All right, so I'm like, fuck. They're like, what are you gonna do? And I'm like, well, I got another shirt. I said, to break your record, the next increment was like 593 or some shit like that. I said 593 because I went there to break.
I know
record.
you did.
I said 593. And they go, I go in the back real quick, back to the warm-up bench, and I fucking put that fucking Phenom on, and we threw 605 on the bar, and I brought it down to a one board, and boom. So I'm like, okay, cool, try it. Fucking went out there, 593, brought it down, press command, benched it.
I saw it. I was impressed.
Broke your record.
I know.
So my third attempt, that attempt I think that you showed on the screen was 611.
Okay, I was trying to do. I thought it was 606 or something. I was trying to add it up last night.
Yeah. 611 was the final on
nice.
That, so I ended with 611 Alki. And then a few months later we went to Worlds and I benched 644. And narrowly missed 688 or so, 680 something.
Hey, was that
breath wish on
That's
my
right.
ass.
That's what I was going to ask you. He was on your ass at that fucking meet. He wanted you.
Well,
in his fucking room, pissing in front of him in 5 minutes, or he was cussing at me, dude. And I had to track you down.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, Ryan calls me on my cell phone. He's like, dude, you need to get down here. Gus Rethwish is threatening to strip your records. And I'm like, fuck, I'm just changing my clothes. So I went down there, fucking did their fucking urine analysis. And then the next month, Powerlifting USA, their little interns from fucking Gus Rethwish just said, thank you, Bj Dirk.
Yeah. Gus was always hot and cold, man.
So, yeah. So, yeah.
I know you're a big fisherman.
Apparently,
I got a question for you. You're a big fisherman.
Still talking.
Oh, are you, BJ? I'm sorry.
He was still talking.
Oh, I was just saying. I think those Wabdo record. I think it still holds.
Really?
Are you still in there on the?
That'd be cool.
I think so.
I'll have to check on the internet.
Yeah.
See Washington Wabdo record to see if your name's still there. That's cool.
To hold this long, that's impressive. Okay, now I think
I jumped the gun. I'm
talking.
excited.
Now it's your turn.
Sorry, BJ. I know you're a fisherman because we've been out a few times and we have a lot of waters and lakes around us in our area up here. What's the biggest smallmouth bass you've ever caught?
Honestly, I mean, I've been after the 6-pounder, but I think about 5'2".
Where'd you catch that one at?
Moses
No, there's
Lake.
no fish in Moses Lake.
Yeah, behind your grandpa's
I know you
house.
say that all the time. I can't catch them down there anymore. I don't know
We
what.
used to try.
Yeah. What about biggest sturgeon?
Right.
We've been out sturgeon fishing one time, and you outfished me
The
in my boat.
on worms. I'm glad you finally admitted that. I'm proud of you right now.
Hey, but you got to admit, I was 7 fish ahead of you, like quick.
You were,
and then it changed.
but then I seen that you were using that little sturgeon smelly jelly, and I was like, hey, can I borrow some of that? And I caught up to you.
You did.
You shouldn't have let him use it.
I didn't think you could beat.
You should be like, you don't want this, man.
I didn't think you could beat me out there, but you did.
We caught 13 or 14 fish that day in not a very long period of time. That was awesome.
Pretty solid day, huh?
The biggest sturgeon I ever caught was down at White Bluffs. Okay. The biggest sturgeon I ever really put a tape on, it was 10.5.
Whoa.
Yeah, 10'5", and we hooked it on the boat. We had the buoy anchor, the anchor buoy system. We dropped the anchored buoy, and we chased him downriver quite a ways. And once he started blowing his ballast, we pulled up on the shoreline and landed him on shore. And we got a few pictures of him. But yeah, I have no idea how much a fish. I figure a fish like that weighs 500
pounds.
Easy.
Yeah, and over 10 feet's like
the fucking head on fucking huge.
Damn.
But I've seen pictures of guys with 13, 14 footers like in fucking 800, 900,000 pound fish.
There's a few up there in the reach, that's for sure.
Oh yeah.
What time of year is a good time to go up there? Is it late fall to catch those sturgeon?
I believe that one was particularly right in the middle of summer.
Heat of summer, yeah.
Yeah, right in the middle of summer.
Okay. Let's go to the chat box.
But they seem.
What was that?
Go ahead. Oh, I just was gonna say they seem to bite on worms all year long.
That's weird.
That's so weird.
I'm so into the pickled herring, pickled squid, and
crazy.
Salmon bellies and salmon gills and
pickled herring is my favorite.
Yeah.
The rolled mops, I usually have the most success.
They can't resist a night crawler.
They can't.
Cluster.
I'm a firm believer now. Yeah, I doubted you. I found out the hard way. All right, Ashley,
let's head to the chat box.
Chat box.
Are you done with your question?
Yeah, I just got a couple there I wanted to ask. I don't want to keep BJ here all night.
All right, so
You're good. I got beer.
Nice.
Brewskis.
Good to go, right? So Kiara was the first one on here, and she was just excited. Can't wait to listen to this, honey. I'm on and waiting, so she was excited. Petko Yochev, cool. That wide stance on the thumbnail is insane. LOL. Also, great liftoff guy there as well. Hope you guys discuss technique and feet position.
Yeah, BJ, that's
do you want to talk a little more about
about the feet position, because that changed your game and it changed mine. And we touched on it briefly on who you learned that from, and you want to talk a little bit about that?
Yeah. When I first began with Ryan, we'll start kind of at the beginning. When I first began with Ryan, 350 bench, something like that. And then, in other shirts, basically we ran up 350 through the numbers, 475, 500. Pretty soon I did like 550 when I was 22 or 23. Yep. So I had 550 for the state record as a junior lifter, and I was fucking stuck there. And all of our auxiliary lifting and lifting around bench press was pointing at more than 550. Well, then I'd go to a meet and I'd fucking bomb. I'd lose control of the weight, or I just wasn't able to press it in a straight line. Well, all of a sudden, Matt Lamarck hit like 771 at 218 or 217
That's
body
correct.
weight. And there was a really good video of him benching. And I fucking watched that fucking lift over and over and over again. Probably a fucking 1,000 times. And George Halbert's lifts, because their bench press style was very similar. And I noticed, when I was setting up, I was tucking my feet back more toward my butt,
right.
underneath me, and really trying to cock them hips to create a big arch. Well, two things that I found for me personally, may not be for everybody, but for me personally, that was making it so that when I had my shoulders back and I'd start good with a tight shirt, when I would bring that down low, it would flatten me out.
Yes.
And spread my fucking shoulder blades apart, so I was out of position for pressing.
Okay.
And then if I did have any press on it, it would fucking shoot right over my chops. Just wait right over my face. That the day that I broke Ryan's record was when I had went to try out all my new techniques, because I legitimately sat there at nighttime and was visualizing over and over and over the wide, spacing out wide, and cocking my hips that way, getting as far up on the haunches of my shoulders as possible. And that seemed to just keep it to where when I brought it down low, I could actually spread the bar and press in a straight line. And it after that, I never bombed.
Nope.
Like, there was, from that point on all the way to the last contest that I did before I took 13 years off, I'd never bombed again.
And
I made 2 lifts per competition.
Yeah. I remember I was skeptical and I didn't really think too much about it until you went to meet after meet and you were progressing. And I was like, well, maybe there's something to this, and of course I was the guy who just put his feet down beside me, and I tried to go out. I called it post to post, because if you look at it, your feet are like even with the posts of the almost past the.
They're fucking. Yeah, they're as far out as they can go. Most part.
And for me to go from feet right beside me out to there, it felt totally weird, and I didn't like it. And I was like, but I knew I had to. I was like, I have to like do something with my feet, because it's working for you, and you're throwing up lifts left and right. And so, that's how I kind of figured out I just kind of split it. I took mine and yours, and I kind of just found a happy medium there, and it changed my lifting forever. And I don't think, honestly, if we never would have done that, I don't know where I'd be. I'd probably still be benching with my feet down beside me.
No. Yeah, still at 9:30.
Yeah, it's weird. I mean, little things you learn along the way, and that was a big game changer in my lifting, and it's just fun to talk about.
Well, you're 5 inches. Yeah, you're 5 inches taller than me too, so the dynamic of it wasn't exactly going to be the same, because you're taller. The bench height to me is higher in theory than it is for you, because of your height. You know what I mean?
I saw it in person, and I was like, God damn it, you picked it up, man, and just took off. Like, see you later. Yeah, it was crazy. Your lifts, I mean, it was just impressive. And I just remember, you know, Lamarck and Halbert, you know, you kind of mimicked what they were doing with their feet out in front of them, which, you know, that Louis talks heavily about that, you know. And when I spoke with Louis at the Arnold a couple years ago at his gym, you know, I mentioned how my lower back's all fucked up now because I've contorted my lower lumbar so much to the point where it's just it's not the same anymore. But yeah, that was a big game changer, the feet placement, and I'm just glad you did that because that was a fork in the road. I'm definitely glad I took. So
yeah, no, I remember. Do you remember that? Probably one of the last Pride powerlifting meets you did over in Coeur d'Alene.
Okay.
You fucking barely missed 1100.
1105, yeah.
And that was with that form. Dude, that was so close. That was so close. I thought you had it. I started to
I saw it in the video.
Like,
you're jumping up and down.
Dude, dude, that motherfucking thing, dude. Man, that was so fucking close, dude. And that was early on, dude. I wish that you would have got that one. It was so fucking close, man.
Well, you got to remember the lift before that I rolled that 1080 and they couldn't get it off my gut. Remember that?
Yeah, I was yelling at
God. Got up and
well, the spotters weren't ready. I'm like, you guys need to stay on that shit. It's fucking 1,080 pounds.
Yeah. It's $1,000 on the bar.
That was February 08, actually, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, I think we won't mention him on our wonderful podcast, but him and I came over there and watched you lift it that one.
I know who you're talking about. That was cool to have you there. And I had some type of, I caught it from Masington. I had some type of viral infection, if you remember. I was hacking phlegm and blood everywhere, and you know, I was bleeding out my eyeballs like I always do. But that was the biggest I ever was, too. That was, for a meet anyway, I was like 357 or something. And I carried it, man.
Yeah, you were
house.
You were fucking big mother.
Big dude, huh?
Where you got, Ashley? CJ
Morgani. Hey, everyone. Hope it's been a great week. Glad to have Mr. Dirk with us today. Thank you, CJ. Glad you're joining us.
Thank you.
Gray Eagle, who is actually later down here. He
Aaron Best
says his name. It's Aaron Best.
Yep, he was on our crew.
He says Beetlejuice. Do you know what that means?
That's BJ. That's what he's called me since
fifth grade.
Gotcha,
Okay,
gotcha,
I never knew that.
I'm like, is there an inside joke?
I never knew that.
That makes sense.
Okay.
BJ Beetlejuice. I like it. Oh, I like.
It's either Beetlejuice or Beelzebub.
Beelzebub.
I like that too. Let's see. 1 rep max. Hey. So you were in the Kennelly power team. Do you have a sexy jacket like Larry Bush does or did at the Mendelson meet last month? You got a Kennelly power team jacket, don't you?
You know, I did have one, and it got nabbed at Bench America in Chicago.
I'm telling you, man, you left those laying around. People took them. You know, I think, yeah.
Well, I was too busy handing off for my boy.
That's right. Yeah, I needed you out there.
Too bad.
And then they robbed him for the fucking
You were there, BJ. That was typical. You know, I was the black sheep, you know, the guy who was came from the dark side, and, you know, I wasn't one of those other USAPL people, and hey, no fucking way, man. I hit that 815 bench just because my belt was up a little higher. They fucked me on that, dude. But it was a good time.
It was yeah, they were just complaining. It had nothing. The bar didn't even touch your belt. They were bitching because you brought the bar.
Well,
it's called bench press. It's not called chest press.
Well,
It doesn't fucking matter. It doesn't matter where you fucking touch.
They didn't want to give me that 10 grand. They wanted to give it to Jason Jackson.
That's who got it.
Yeah, because I did 777 opener, and he did that at a lighter body weight, and then I hit that 815, missed it on a third, and then but it was kind of cool because after that, then no one could believe that I did a drug tested meet, passed the drug, and you got that drug testing there was probably the most stringent drug testing at any meet I've ever seen. They had those WADA people there, and they had, I mean, it was literally pick your shirt up, drop your pants, flip around, the blue water everywhere in the toilet, the ceiling panels. I mean, you couldn't, I mean, it was legit. And it's one thing that impressed me. Yeah. And that's all in the path.
Yeah. Oh, well, it was fun.
It was a good time, dude. Yeah, the bar. And
Remember they said $10,000 bar tab. That fucker, they shut that fucker about 10 minutes.
I got there late when the Crown and Coke started flowing.
Kennelly, he looks funny. He has these tumblers of Crown and Coke, which look like a glass in my hand. They're like little thimbles full in his hand, and he had them all lined up on the shelf, fucking cutting loose.
Getting down, man. That was fun. Missed that shit. All right. Gray Eagles got some more to say here.
Oh, I like that. BJ headbutted me in the chest because I wouldn't let him wear my bench shirt back in the day.
That was in training. That was one of our violent training sessions where fights almost occurred.
Yeah, I felt bad for that, and I've apologized more than one time to Aaron for that move. But I think what got me was that he balked on me. I think he led me to believe that he was going to let me use it.
I believe so.
And then
didn't let you.
And then he didn't. And I don't know what I did. I came at him and he put his hands up, and I think I bumped his hands out of the way and I headbutted him in the fucking chest.
Oh my goodness.
And it hurt him, and I probably shouldn't have done that, but well, what do you do? That's trials and tribulations of being an asshole.
You've apologized. I mean, that's all you can do at that point.
Heat of the moment in training.
We're still buddies after all these years.
Say he ain't coming on here saying
we love you, Aaron.
Mean thing, so he must be over it. He must have let it go.
Yeah.
Tim Odell.
Who are some of your, which we've already touched on this, that's okay, we can again. Who are some of your favorite powerlifting idols? He asked this question before I asked it, but you can share again. You said Ed Cohen, Anthony Clark.
Yours was kind of. I thought it was more towards when I started powerlifting.
True. Okay. Yeah. That's true. So who are now? Yeah, that's a good point.
I mean, there's some of them, whether you like them or not. Scott Mendelson's always cool to watch.
Always, he's entertaining.
You're gonna get a show.
Yeah, he's entertaining. Not that it was like the craziest feat, but I don't think I ever seen a human quite as big as Jeff Lewis.
Yeah, do you remember the bench bash we were at? Ed Cohen took Jeff Lewis's belt and held it up, and it was tall as Ed Cohen.
Yeah. Yes, that man was 575 fucking pounds, and he walked to the fucking squat rack and squatted at 1200.
Yeah, fuck yeah.
That's nuts.
Jeff,
that was pretty interesting, but yeah. There's so many over the years. I used to love Matt Lamarck and fucking Halbert. I liked all the fucking lightweight guys in my era that could put up the fucking big weight.
Right.
Right. Okay.
Mary
asks you, do you have any meets on the horizon for 2022?
I don't have anything picked out, but I'm definitely not going to do whatever federation was at Pack Fitness. I'm kind of fed up with that shit.
We don't do that around here anymore.
Doing that, I'm gonna go. If I gotta travel to California or somewhere down south or the East Coast to lift in a fucking federation that adheres to more of the style that I like the way I like it.
Mary actually has a competition in Troutdale in March, and it's a
APF
federation.
APF federation. They don't allow band shirts.
There's no band shirt.
Yeah, they don't. Some federations allow the band shirt, and some do not yet. But APF is
much better than
you've done an APF meet before.
Probably.
APF was the one in Chehalis that I did 700 at 242.
Yeah.
My first 700.
Nice.
You get a wild hair.
Something to think about. That's
it's just March 14th, I believe.
Something like that.
I've been throwing around the idea of doing a IPA contest up here in our gym. They allow band shirts. That was the federation that Mendelson we just did, and maybe into summer. I don't know. Definitely, if you ever get a wild hair,
I'll be game if I'm trained up.
I know.
Right.
I'm not going to push you, you know,
Something
when the
to
time
think
is
about.
right. Yeah.
Yeah.
I would be exciting to see you come back and
Well,
train.
Hell yeah.
You just reminded me of
What's that?
something that you're not going to push. This motherfucker, Ashley. When I was young, when I first met him, he's coming to my gym, and he before I met him, he talked to Todd Scott, the owner of the gym, and he was trying to dive out, make a fucking powerlifting
Yes.
team.
Mm-hmm.
And he went to Todd and he says, hey, do you know anybody that would, be good powerlifters? And Todd says, well, Bj Dirk, if you can get him in here. And then one day I'm in there, and by that time I'm already used to seeing, big
Right.
guys, and Ryan's in there, and he comes up and, are you Bj Dirk? And I'm like, yeah. And fuck, that motherfucker was on my ass every time I came in that gym. He's like, well, I thought you were going to start training. I was like, dude, I'm telling you, I will train with you. I got to be ready. Like, I got to have my mind right for it, right? I kept telling him that that's where that fly by night, Bj Dirk, fly by night pod, fucking now you see him, fucking on my
I
ass.
was on you.
Once I fucking started, then 710 and 242,
right.
it's history
That's
now.
true. Yeah, I wanted to put together a crew and get something going. I just moved back from Florida, and I came back with the knowledge of Louis Simmons, and I had some chains, I had some bands, and I wanted to. I had big, I was trying to get Mendelssohn's ass because he had just beaten me at the Arnold Classic, and I was bloodthirsty and hungry to be number one in the world, and I can't do it by myself.
No.
I need a crazy crew.
No,
No, right. Yeah.
yeah, and Mendelssohn's a fucking
partners.
pretty serious competitor. He ain't weak.
No.
No. Definitely not.
No, he's not.
Definitely not. CJ Morgani, can't go wrong with Cannibal Corpse or some 90s, early 2000s slam. That must have been when we were talking about music. I like this. One Rep Max. Wait, is he the... No, he's not. Is he the guy that was yelling triple on Road to the Arnold?
That was Catterley.
That was Sean Catterley. And every time I can't say triple without going triple.
But BJ,
Every time I hear triple, that's...
I am in that.
You are in that video.
I figured you were somewhere in there.
I'm in that video a few times. Yep.
Triple.
Long time
that
ago.
was fun, man. That was 04.
That's when I was a little 220.
Yeah, I remember.
Cute little guy.
Up and coming. Okay.
Okay, Kiara's got some laughing faces. That he's a chef.
You're a chef.
So that must have... Oh, that makes sense. So that must have been
He
the question. What about something that would surprise us? That you're a chef.
I've seen your meals you post on Facebook, dude, and delicious. You can cook, man.
I can throw down.
There you go.
I can throw down. I'm not a trained chef. I just watch the Food Network.
Do you have a Traeger at all?
I have 2 Green Mountains.
Okay. You know what you're doing.
I got the big one and the little
nice.
one.
You're all hooked up. That's a good one. That's a good one. Just helping you answer that question. It's nice of her. Mary asks you, knives? Would you be down to possibly make custom best lifter knives for prizes at a powerlifting meet? I know you're super slammed. That's a super cool idea. I know you're super slammed, but
I'm busy as hell, and it's probably, I ain't trying, no insult intended in any way, but they're spendy.
Yeah, you're spendy.
Right.
They're handmade. I do all of my own heat treatment. I have a Rockwell tester. There's huge amounts of time. Like for a basic knife, you can be looking at $500. Like that's where we're.
And they're worth their weight in gold, dude. I've seen your work, and I hype it up, man.
Okay.
Well, I appreciate that, man. But yeah, I hate being realistic with people, but that's what they've become. I've fucking vested myself in a ton of equipment, and it's time. It's all meticulous. They're hand polished.
You put a lot of passion and effort and time and love. You don't just stamp these out and throw them out. I don't know how you do it. It's out of I've never seen it done, but it's crazy impressive what you can make. You're very talented, dude.
Well, I have fucked up a lot of steel. Let's just say that.
Okay. Oh, I've been waiting for this one.
Uh-oh.
Feel free to take a couple minutes to think about this one. What's that? This one's from Nathan. Yeah. BJ, give us a story that'll embarrass the old man.
That's me.
So feel free to take a minute to think if you got a good story that would embarrass him. There gotta be something in all these years. We'll wait for a couple minutes if you need to think.
The only thing that I think is funny, not like I think I'm the baddest motherfucker in the world, but if I start getting fucking hyperactive and start getting loud, that big motherfucker will flinch.
Well, because dude, I mean,
he's flinchy around.
Yeah,
me.
this fucker. This is the type of guy right here, and I've met a lot of people and people who thought they were tough. This guy takes a pipe over the head, and he'll still come after you. Like, I don't know how to kill him. Like, it'd be worthless to punch this guy. I mean, you'd have to fucking chop his head off. I mean, he's fucking like
in fact, it's funny because I think Nathan Brandhorst one day, like, we were doing something at the gym, and I started fucking jumping around or whatever, and Ryan and Nathan's like, why are you fucking flinching? He's like, because you don't fucking know him.
It's true. Fuck, dude. Yeah, that's true.
No other like really embarrassing stories though.
Embarrassing. I'm trying to think of one that like what I just don't.
That's a little bit, but I was hoping for something super embarrassing.
I don't. I'm sure
that would make him like blush.
I honestly don't know if I have anything embarrassing. We've been together when we've seen people do weird that would embarrass us, like fucking Brian Siders chewing on fucking Roch's fucking fudge stripe.
And
underwear.
That's a true story.
That's all I think about when I hear that name now. And like I know he's a good solid lifter, but when I hear Brian Siders, I just picture.
And he's a nice guy. We went to dinner with him a couple times, and me and Roch and Ryan got to our room later, and we're like, he's probably analyzing us.
He just sits back and smiles and looks. Well, he's a prison psychologist. He knows we're psycho and crazy. So, but goddamn, I mean, Paul Roch, his underwear did have a brown stripe in it. And he put it on his doorknob. Did he not pick it up and put it in his mouth and keep those underwear? That's a crazy, yeah. Oh yeah, that part too.
God, that's gross.
Had him his teeth chewing on him.
Yeah,
he's an awesome guy though, man. Siders. Shit, after he did he did Mendelssohn's meet one time, like 20 minutes later, he was in a gym inclining 555. Like the guy trains like a madman.
Yeah, I remember when me and Roch were there, and he fucking did 881, man, and it just went whoop.
Speed.
And we all just looked at each other and were like, "Fuck, Rhino, you got." That's probably your fucking competition right there.
It was. I competed against him, and the only reason I won, I mean, he could blast that shit 98% of the way. He just couldn't get that last 2%.
But block it. Yep. But no, I was with you a lot of times when you took the money home. Fuck yeah.
Ching. All right, Ashley, what do you got?
Howard Weingarten. Yeah, IPA is real fun, and they do allow band shirts. Ryan, if you have that meet, I'm interested, and BJ, you should be there too.
It's just an idea. Just doing a meet here that we don't have to travel super far for, and I don't know. Just get.
I like that idea.
Yeah, I'll keep you in the loop. It's a project. It's not on wheels or nothing, but if and when we'll have at it.
Throwing around a little bit.
I'm gearing up to try to do something here, and we'll see. I might, I was thinking about it, and I was talking to Kiera about it. I might have to discard the 242 division to hit 800.
275?
Yeah, I've benched at 275 before.
I know.
I did 680 at 275 and tried my first over 700. I tried 705 and barely missed it back in the day, but I'm just thinking, because right now I'm sitting at fucking 260.
Oh, are you?
So I could just jump into the swing of things and say, hey, fuck it, just move with it and see where I go.
Yeah.
Who knows?
Yeah,
Who knows?
right.
That's the only thing that was stopping me from buying a shirt was because if I buy a shirt now, I don't want
Correct.
it to fucking. I don't want it to fit me like a fucking shower curtain.
True.
At 242. But if I buy one now and it gets a little tighter, it might not. You know, especially a band shirt. I feel like they may have a little more give
Yeah, they
here
have a
and
lot of
there per
forgiveness
se.
in them. I mean, it's not like a phenom, or you have to get perfectly super tight. There is a little bit of play. You can fluctuate in body weight, and it still works phenomenally. So,
Well, might have to get one sooner than
okay,
later.
Yep.
I'm excited.
Yep. Definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah.
That would be awesome.
And I already told Kiara because Kiara, she knows that's one thing. I got a good support system. She's cool with
That's
it. You know,
awesome.
I said I might have to go to fucking. I said if you're off work and I get the chance, I might have to go to Kennelly on Saturday or on Thursdays, excuse me, in the evening to try
Tuesday.
to train.
Tuesday, yep. Heavy bench
Tuesday.
day. Yeah.
Well, you know, on Saturday,
And
you
then
know,
Saturdays.
Ruben, and Bobby, and those guys bench on Saturday, and I have no qualms about showing up and helping you out. If Tuesday's a pain in the ass.
Tuesday's hard.
Yeah, but the thing is I got to have the brotherhood.
Yeah.
Yeah. I want everybody.
That's part of it. That fucking supercharges me when everybody's fucking benching
And we can use your intensity and your knowledge and your what you bring to the training sessions. You know, it's good. It's what my guys would need. You know, light a fire into their asses, man. You know, bring BJ. You know.
No, I know Nathan's constantly in my ear. He's like, "Dust your shit off and come down here." Like a motherfucker, I want to.
Yeah,
trust
I know
me. Like,
but
I know.
you know, I just got to get ducks in a row.
Got
maybe
a lot
eventually,
going on.
maybe eventually, here me and Kira will be able to break away, and we've been wanting to move down
You
that
told me
way.
that.
Oh, that would be cool.
You know, and that's still you know. That's still on the chalkboard for goals.
Yeah. Right.
You know,
be cool though.
We would like to live in a little more of a populated area, but not necessarily Seattle.
Yeah, I understand.
Right? Yeah, I know.
Well,
that'd be cool. That'd be cool if you guys
yeah.
See what the future brings.
Looks like we got the last question here.
Did I already read Howard Weingarten?
No, I skipped Howard.
You're skipping him. Howard Weingarten. Wow, I love that style of training both of you are talking about. I miss that kind of training. Yeah. So do you, huh?
Yeah. I miss the olden days. You know, I tell that story all the time how I remember the workout where you headbutted Aaron Bess and almost got in a fight, and I mean, there was just so much energy in our training sessions, you know, and Sunday I would meander down here and Paul Roch, Darius Pagee, those guys would be training, and I'd sit down and just watch them, and they're like watching football on the TV, talking, I mean, just zero intensity, you know, and I was like, fuck, yesterday there was almost a fucking fight in our training session, and I don't say that, this is what I'm thinking. I just like, I couldn't train here, these guys are just too fucking laid back, old timers, you know.
Then you did.
Yeah, we did. I eventually
still had success.
Yeah, but I came down and I lit a fire under Paul Roch's ass, and he came a long way.
Yeah, didn't Paul finally hit 800?
805, yeah. That was kind of funny too.
I think I was there.
Yeah, he only could bench 405 for a rep or two, and then in a shirt he was a magician. You know, that was a phenom, and yeah, Paul had no worries about getting under a grand, and whether he ate it or pressed it. I mean, he wasn't afraid of that weight.
Yeah, I miss him.
I miss Paul.
I love that guy.
Paul had
so funny, so entertaining.
Paul had a blood disease, one in
some health problems.
1 million people. It's a rare blood disorder, and they caught it, but he had some type of tumor on his colon that was feeding off of his something, and they had to go in and cut that out. Paul's down to 242 pounds. He's doing better.
Whoa!
Right.
Yeah.
Can you even imagine?
Can you imagine? It's hard to see, you know, but he's in good spirits, and he's
he was a fucking monster.
Yeah, he was 330, you know, all the time.
330
with the boiler. You don't have that boiler no more, man. You know, I wish the best for him, and I talked to him recently, a month or two ago, and he's in good spirits. He's retired now, and you know, I don't know if he's ever plan on lifting again. I think he plans on taking his monster fifth wheel and going around the country and just going everywhere. Yeah, which would be fun.
Well, if you see him, tell him BJ said hi.
I'm gonna
man.
call him actually.
I wish his big ass the best.
Okay, I'm gonna call him probably
Definitely.
tomorrow and touch bases with him.
I always liked him.
Yeah, me too.
Always liked
I love that guy.
Yeah.
Love that guy. So cool.
Yeah.
And
funny motherfucker.
what's that?
He's a funny
hilarious.
You remember some of the
I
stories?
would laugh so much when I was around him.
Yeah.
He had so many funny stories.
He's the reason why I refer to fucking slutty women as toilets.
Toilets. That's right. Toilets.
He did that. Yep.
That's what he called slutty women.
I forgot about that.
Fucking record. We have lots of toilets here in
I
Moses Lake,
think
Washington.
you do. There's a lot here too, BJ.
So-
That's funny. I forgot about that. I can totally hear him saying it now. And then our last comment here is from Nathan Brandhorst, and he says he is flinchy around you. Haha, miss you, man. Need to make a trip down soon, bud. That was from Nathan.
I will.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We'd all love to see you. Love to have you down here.
You guys will be seeing me sooner than later.
Yeah, like I said, man, I'm always doing what I'm doing, and I don't miss workouts unless I'm dead in jail or in a hospital. But I gotta add one more thing to that, or have COVID. So, yeah, like you don't miss workouts, man.
Yeah.
But you know, COVID, I couldn't go to the gym, had to stay at home for 10 days.
If you go to the gym with COVID.
Yeah.
So.
Boo.
Yeah.
Thumbs down.
Yeah. Well, BJ,
Right.
you made it through
Yeah.
the show, man. Shit.
That was
good
great,
job.
man. Yeah, it was so fun talking to you.
Yeah.
and always a
Thanks for
blast.
having me.
Yeah.
It's nice chatting with you guys and reminiscing about the glory
Right.
days.
Man, it seems like yesterday, but where does time go, man?
It's crazy.
2003, and here we are in 2021. Shit, almost 2022. Hey, man, we're still walking. We're vertical, and I think you and I, we got a few more in us. Mendelssohn's got one more in him. He told me that, and we can't do this shit forever, man. But
No,
it'd just be fun.
I agree.
Just go out there and have fun and do it.
Hell yeah.
Definitely.
Hell yeah, my man.
All right. Well,
Cool.
shit. I guess we'll sign off, and
I don't see any more coming in.
I don't see any more
so-
questions. And
Or unless there was something you wanted to add or
any
anything.
ending comments? Anything else you wanted to say before we go?
I love the shit out of you
Thank
guys.
you.
Thank
Thank
you.
you
Right
for
back
having me
at you.
here. And I'll see you in the gym soon. I'll let you know what the fuck I'm doing, and probably gonna look at shirts tonight when I get off
Well,
Nice.
if you
here.
need help contacting Rob Farrell is kind of one of the guys that we can put you in contact with. He makes the Farrell shirt. It's popular. Dark Side Ironwear makes a shirt too. And they're all the same.
Yeah, I've got John on my
Okay.
Facebook,
Oh,
so I can get a hold of him pretty
Yeah.
easily. But yeah, send me Pharrell information
I will.
too.
I'll get you his number and how to get in touch with him, and ring their walls and let them know who you are and who you train with, and hopefully they scratch your back a little bit. They're
Be
cool.
nice.
They're cool.
Yeah.
Both of them are cool people to work with.
Maybe they
Yeah.
will, but either way, I'm
Right.
getting
Getting
something.
there Either way, huh? Excellent.
That's
Can't wait
right.
to see
All
you
right.
back
Well,
in the
BJ,
gym
have
doing
a good
your thing.
night, and we'll sign off
Again,
on
thank you
Benchmonster
so
TV.
much. It was a blast. It was a pleasure having you on.
All right.
So
Yeah.
thank you for taking the
Benchmonster
time.
TV.
What's that?
Oh yeah, Benchmonster.
I appreciate
TV.
that,
Oh,
BJ.
yeah.
Hey, I got to get you a T-shirt.
gotta
Benchmonster
get
Team
you a
Benchmonster
t-shirt.
shirt. What size do you wear?
Well, the problem is I have a short torso.
Okay.
So my shoulder, my if I have a 2X, it fits me like a fucking Charlie Brown
Oh.
shirt.
Okay.
Goes down to my knees.
Right.
So I don't know. We'll try an extra.
Okay. I got a few of them. Next time I see you, I'll bring a few to try on.
There you go.
All right, buddy.
All right, Benchmonster TV, we're shutting down, and we'll be back next week. Thank you,
for
BJ.
joining us. Thank
Later.
you, BJ. Thank you, viewers, for joining us. We always appreciate having you guys here, and hope everybody has a wonderful night.
Good night, BJ.
Bye.
Peace, Ryan. Peace,
Bye,
Ashley.
BJ.
Bye-bye.